Hi everyone, welcome to the 8th video in my series discussing Splatoon 3 map callouts. I'm making these videos to try and learn map callouts and to help other people learn them as well. I'm using the Splatoon 3 community callouts list, which I will include a link in the description. And today we are looking at Mahi-Mahi Resort. And Mahi-Mahi Resort is an interesting map because depending on the mode that you're in, it changes significantly. And so we will be looking at several versions of this map. There are 3 versions of the map that are listed. So there's one for Callouts and Rainmaker, which we're going to look first. They're the same map across both of those. There's one for Splat Zones and one for Tower Control. So we'll be looking at those. The locations are roughly the same, but the map geometry does change quite a bit. I might discuss Turf War, look at the Turf War map, because I know people like to play that as well. You might want to practice with a team on Turf War. So the map is also different on Turf War. So based on what is present in these maps, I think that we can extrapolate some locations for a Turf War map. But first we're going to look at the Callouts and Rainmaker map. So these are again the same map, so let's get started. So again, we start in spawn, so this whole raised area here is labeled as spawn. From spawn we go down into the court, and from the court we can walk across it, and this area here is called the perch. Walking across court again, we go up here, and this area is called plat. Then we go down here, this area is labeled ramp, into this area which is called block. And from block, this central area is called mid. This colored area here is called the slick. And then this little area here is called the jump. So we'll walk across the court into spawn and jump down here. This area in here is called the islands. And then this water area down here is labeled as the flood. So when the water drops, this becomes exposed. And those are all of the locations on the map. So, well, starting from here, let's walk the other direction. So this is the islands. We'll jump. Here's spawn. The court. We'll walk up. We'll go to the enemy base. This is plat. We'll walk down the ramp into mid. Here is our block. Here. Slick. The jump. We can walk across mid to their block. And then we have their islands and their flood. Their slick again. Here's the jump again. We'll walk across mid, up the ramp, into plat, drop from plat into the court, and jump from the court to the perch. And walk across court into the spawn. So this is the map layout for Rainmaker and Clam Blitz. So the next version of the map that we are going to look at is Splat Zones. So let me pull that up. So Splat Zones Mahi-Mahi Resort. So a lot of the locations are still the same here, but there are some differences. So spawn has not changed. From spawn, we still drop down into the court here. And the first difference is this strip here is actually called the perch. And from the perch, we go up, and this is plat right here. Plat drops down into the slick. And this box here is the jump. If we walk back across the slick and climb up this thing, this is called the snipe, and it overlooks the zone here. So this is called the zone. Walking back across slick into right here, this is called the bunker. And then we have flood right here. We jump back into the islands, so the islands are still here. And we can jump back to the bunker. And those, oh, there's one more area right here called the corner. So those are the areas, and all the maps again are symmetrical. So let's walk toward in the other direction and name all of the spots. So starting here in the corner, we go to flood, and here are the islands, their flood, their bunker, their slick, their corner. We'll go back up into the snipe, overlooking the zone here. Here's the zone. We're walking across slick again, into jump. Here's the court. We'll move into plat, down plat into the perch, and into the spawn. And so that is the Splat Zones version of the map. Next, we are going to look at tower control. So let's pull that up. So, again, what hasn't changed is this area here is still called the spawn. And the spawn goes down into the court. And then from the court, right here, we have the perch. Up here is plat again. Well, yeah. So this is the perch. Up here is plat. Right? Well, this is actually called the perch here too. This block is called plat. Now, one of the important notes that is on here is that when the water level changes, the plat and the court merge. So this plat here, it's going to drop down to be level with the court. So we drop down. This is the slick. Again, the jump. Back into the slick. This area here is called the drop. This is called the block. This here is called the street. It's labeled as the street. Over here is the flood, and again we have the islands. And where the tower is called mid. And those are the areas in tower control. So again, the maps are symmetrical again. So starting from mid, let's go through all the places. So mid to drop, to the slick, jump, block, street, the flood. We'll walk across the slick again, to the court, up to plat. And remember, plat and the court become level with each other once the water drops. Here's the perch. We'll go down the perch into the court again. And we'll actually cross the court. I can't. It's a different color. We'll cross the court into spawn. And from spawn, we can jump into the islands. Yeah. And so those are all the anarchy maps. But like I said, the turf war map is also different. And this does not have a map in callouts, but I know that some people like to play turf war. So I will also look at the turf war map, and based on the areas discussed in these maps, I think that we can extrapolate some locations in the turf war map. So let's pull that up. So let's pull up turf war, Mahi-Mahi Resort. So, again, we are at spawn. We can infer that from the other maps. We can call this the court again, and as per other modes, this walkway we could call the perch. Into here, which is plat, and this area here, because it's similar to what we see in splat zones, I would call this the snipe, right here. And this thing right here I would call top mid. We could call that top mid. Here we could call this left mid and right mid. Going here, we could call this the bunker, or we could call this like the block, actually. Yeah. We could call this the block. And then this thing, actually no. We could give this another name. Let's not call this the, well, yeah, let's call this the block. The block. And then this area here could be called the bunker. This area raised, this is called the flood from other maps. Jump across into the islands here. And is there anywhere else? Ah. The corner. Here. The corner. So, like I said, all the maps are symmetrical. So let's go through all of the areas again. Actually, I don't like I don't like calling this the block, because then it's confusing once the level drops here. Alright. Let's call this the stack, actually. I think that that's a better name for this. So, this is the stack. And we'll call this thing the block. And then the area around it is the flood. Well, yeah. That makes sense. Alright, so, starting from the flood, let's walk in the other direction and name everything. So here we have the flood, the block, the stack. From the stack, we can jump into the snipe. From the snipe, down behind the bunker. And we're in right mid right now. We can go into left mid. Into the corner here. Or flood corner. The block. Here's their stack. Into snipe. Top mid. You can jump down from top mid into the snipe. And on plat, the court, the perch, and spawn. And those should be all the locations. Oh yeah. And the block right there. Oh. Jump and slick. So there's the slick. Sorry that the Turf War one was a little bit more disorganized. There isn't a official map for Turf War. I just added it because the map is different, and I know that people like to play it, and maybe they want to, practice on it. I think that playing Turf War is a valid way to, kind of practice the game or practice with a team. Teaches you about paint control. So, yeah, that's Mahi-Mahi Resort. Thanks for watching.